Last week we saw the kinds of faith. Today we will see how to pray. We will see, what will happen when we chant mantras and how one must not misuse the power once we become spiritually powerful. So all that Baba has explained in the during in these chapters. So we'll start. I'll share my slides later. I'll just start with the book right away. Before starting, let us bow to the feet of Simon or any of your gurus or any of the god that you're following. Then take their permission to move forward. Thank you, masters. So both Rudra and Baba, after the dinner, they're walking on the beach side. So there Baba says, today I will tell you some secret. So what is our secret? We'll see. The secret is, the secret is simple. God does not take too kindly to those who fight over him or fight in his name. He does not like people arguing, abusing one another because of him over his merits. From form and philosophy, it is really a bad idea to kill another human being in his name or in the name of religion or spirituality. You're asking for serious repercussions that could last for lifetimes. These so-called godmen and spiritual leaders and priests of all religions who use God and his name and in his name mislead people to commit crimes and kill and riot and turn fanatical. These so-called leaders are in such serious trouble. I cannot begin describing you the lifetimes of hell that await them. There is no greater sin than misusing your evolution. I mean, after reaching a certain state of evolution and spirituality, then misusing your power, misusing your spiritual power, financial power, power of your position, your charismatic powers in the name of God and abusing those who come to you or look up to you to be the extension or the voice of the God and all that which God stands for, and then be abused physically, financially, emotionally, and worst of all, spiritually. You must have heard about the soul having to go through more than millions of lifetimes to evolve into a human being. Then, as a human being, you keep being born again and again till you become so entwined with God and Master that you no longer even breathe without being aware of the presence of God within you. So imagine the innumerable lifetimes an every soul has to go through. First of all, to enter the human race. Then, once as a human being, to relinquish all that which is ungodly and be filled with his light and aura. The soul has to go through every experience and then evolve above it. And then move on and go through another experience and conquer it with grace. And after every experience and emotion is scaled with positive surrender and grace, the soul is ready to move permanently in the spirit world and become a co-worker or a guide or become an angel to help those in need of God's word and presence. So here they're talking about spirit guides we talk, no? And angels, that each one of us have our spirit guides and our angels. So to become that, you have to finish off all your experiences and go there. But instead, if we, at all we do all this, whatever Baba mentioned, abusing, just physically, mentally, or financially in the name of God, then you have to start from, single cell again. Now imagine a person has virtually reached the stage where he or she has outgrown or evolved to the point where There are no longer experiences needed to test his or her spirituality or soul growth. Nature has invested lifetimes in preparing the soul to reach that level. Now imagine such a person using his or her spirituality or position of power and begin to use or abuse or manipulate or even kill. Imagine a highly evolved person using his or her strengths and position and spiritually and charisma to incite people to kill or rape or plunder, all in the name of God. Remember, this person has the power to do so as he or she has been equipped by nature to tower over other mortals. The person has reached a stage in a spiritual growth that empowers that person with different strengths and powers to be able to make others to do what he or she wills. Instead of using his or her power good, the person in the name of God or humanity or charity or leadership begins to abuse and manipulate and becomes the cause of grief, death. How do you think providence or nature or God feel then? So beautifully it is explained here, masters. Once we do all wrong things, trust me, the heaven feels let down. In what way then does the law of karma work? So here they have told, in such cases, what will happen to that person? Well, the person has to start from scratch once again. Start out from where the soul begins its first tentative steps as a single cell, and then once again go through the hundred of thousands of different life forms to reach mankind. But there is a difference. The soul knows it has done wrong, and the inherent character of that soul is that of sadness, and it feels the burden of its downfall and misdeeds. It carries a heavy cross, but does not know why. All through its journey, it carries inherent sadness, but cannot pin it down to the actual reason. This is the law of karma working. For the next hundreds of years, the soul goes through the burden of knowing it has messed up really bad. But how, why, what, it does not know and will never be able to discern. So see, so beautifully, whenever we do, forgetting our real self, the soul has to start from the scratch, that is from a single cell. That is what Baba is saying here. So next Baba explains, like, why one should be grateful for everything that we have. So till now we saw why we should not do anything which is bad, because we will have to take this birth, to take this lifetime, or to get into the spirituality. We have evolved so much through all our lifetimes. But if we do anything wrong, then we have to start from the scratch. Next, Baba says why one should be grateful. This, my son, all around you, because it is raining there actually. So Rudra is sitting and enjoying the rain. Okay. So when he's enjoying the rain, he's mesmerized how the waterfalls, how the whole of the area becomes wet within seconds. So he's mesmerized. That time Baba says, "This is my son all around you is something only earth can offer, not even heaven. Every creation of God is filled with certain exclusivity, a rare individuality about it that is not found elsewhere. Earth has a certain uniqueness not found even in the heavens. The joy in seeing the rains fall on parched soil and the immediate grateful response from everything in nature is something exclusive to our planet Earth. Look at the way our Earth responds to the rain. Even if you were to shut your eyes, you could feel the change in all of nature. Means here they're saying once the rain falls, even in nature starts enjoying itself. It is reacting. You can get that smell of the mud. So whole of the nature starts rejoicing here. So that's what Baba is explaining. To the first rays of sun, nature does not take the gifts that God bestows with indifference. It does not even take it as its birthright. See, here they are explaining nature is always in the moment. We have seen sun setting, sun, going down in the evening. So all this, even the nature, when it is doing its duty or taking its responsibility, will not take anything for granted, but it is we human beings who are taking everything for granted. That is what is explained. Every morning, nature responds joyfully, gratefully, humbly, isn't it? But look at human beings, how indifferent most of us are to the bounties of God and nature. When was the last time you thanked God for a beautiful sunrise or rejoiced with nature over the break of dawn? When was the last time you thanked God for giving you the opportunity to live another day and thank the sun for giving you its light and warmth? When was the last time you thanked God for allowing you to drink the cool, thirst quenching liquid, that is water he is talking, which, though it has no taste and no color, still has a quality that nothing else has, the ability of quenching your thirst every single time you consume it? Tell me, do you thank God when you drink water? No. Why? Because you take it as your birthright and you take water for granted. There is a sense of gratitude, not verbal, but observe, and you will see that there is focus and single minded concentration. You know why, boy? Because they're not certain when next will they be able to acquire this nectar of life. Thus, every time they have water, there is a sense of gratitude to nature and God above. So Baba is giving the importance of gratitude. Now my question is, how many of you do this every day? We have forgotten, isn't it? We have, we have taken over this whole of universe and we think, oh, everything is our property. Everything is our property. So we don't mind cutting trees. We don't mind, polluting the water, isn't it? We know, this animals when they feed on this plastic, they, they just can't even tell us what is going in them. But still we are blind. We only are immersed, I feel, in our comfort, and we are not bothered even about other beings, fellow beings. So Baba says how important it is when we even drink water to be grateful, because whole of the nature has put itself for us before, you know. So next, here they're explaining there are two dogs which come to Rudra every time. Okay, two dogs had walked up the stairs to their bungalow and uncertainly made the veranda their transit home. One of them was a lovely shade of brown. It was well fed and looked robust. The other had black and white in patches. It was obviously the brown one's friend and man Friday, for it allowed the brown one to choose the best spot and then choose one for itself. Rudra stood up and left the veranda. After a while, he returned with two plastic bowls and that once had served as restaurant takeaway packs. In them, he had crushed biscuits of different types. He placed them in front of the two dogs and then returned to Baba. So here, these actually, why I told about these two dogs is most of the time, these two dogs keep following Rudra, and they also later we come to know these dogs can feel the presence of Baba. One of them can feel presence of Baba. So we that's the reason I mentioned about these two dogs. Now we'll see. Sometimes what happens is most of the time, whenever Baba is not with Rudra, that is, whenever he is on his spiritual journey, Baba, he keeps moving here and there for days. He leaves Rudra and he goes to his spiritual, duties, wherever people need him or whatever his, we don't come to know. So whenever he has gone on that journey, during that time, one such time, he visits a restaurant which is called as Martin's restaurant. And they beautifully explain here the owners. The owners are very, very senior, serious kind. But the food is, to bet for, and there is always rush. And here there is, using your hand, cell phones, etc., or talking too much. The all that is not allowed. They have certain set of rules, and they don't laugh at all. But Rudra feels, the food is so tasty. Only the cooks must be the ones who are the chefs. At least, thank God, they are actually joyful, I think so, to feed us. That is the feeling of Rudra. So, when he has visited one such restaurant, what happens there? So, we'll see the experience of Rudra. Okay. Okay. When he's sitting with his beer and grilled chicken, when there comes a man. Okay, he's sitting on a table with his beer and grilled chicken. Whenever Baba is not there around, he can, he goes and feeds him, because he is from America and his base food is non-veg. So when he is not there, this fellow used to visit the restaurant. It is a, most of the times he visits this restaurant. So when he's sitting, there comes a man. Okay, he asks his permission, Rudra's permission. Can I share your table? When this man walked up to him and apologetically inquired if he could share the table with him, as he was in a hurry and nobody seemed inclined to be anywhere close to completing their meal. Rudra nodded in the affirmative and gazed at water slashing the rocks that were a few meters away from the restaurant. He had been calm since morning and made certain that neither depression nor thoughts about his children assailed his heart and mind. It was sheer emptiness that made him feel light and virtually at peace with himself and with the world. Now, when by staying along with Baba or with Baba, Rudra has come to live in presence or in the present moment. So that's the reason when he's having and Baba is not around also, he's not pondering upon his past or about his children, whatever pain he was going through. So they are mentioning about that. So to some extent, he has come to the terms. Rudra looked at the man seated opposite to him. He was middle-aged, with white sideburns, a briefcase, and two mobile phones. The man had switched both the mobiles off, knowing the repercussions could be damaging because it was not allowed in Martins. They would just send the people out. Either one of the Martins could have, wrung his neck or jumped on the phones with their spiked shoes. The Martins did not want to encourage idle chat. Eat your darn food and bugger off, being the unmentioned but obvious underlying philosophy of the Martin clan. So phones were a big no-no. So he is just looking opposite to the person's eyes, Rudra. When he's looking into him, what is happening in Rudra is he could see something. Rudra was familiar with that look. He had seen it in his eyes countless times because he came to know that this fellow is going through certain tough times. Rudra prayed for the man, prayed that he find peace and strength. He prayed that whatever was troubling him either be sorted out or God gave him the strength and wisdom to go through his ordeal. Seconds after he had finished saying the prayer, suddenly the weird things started. Rudra, whenever he goes out, he doesn't speak much to the people around. Today, what happened was, as he was sitting and observing the person opposite to him, all these thoughts are pondering upon. When he looks into the eye of that man, he feels somewhere that this fellow is in trouble. So he prays for that fellow. As he finishes his prayer, something happens to Rudra. So we'll see what happens. He never opens his mouth because that is even not allowed in the Martin's, this one also. And by himself, he's very quiet person. So Rudra heard himself speak to the man. It was very, uncontrolled, behavior that he exhibited. He had no intention of beginning a conversation, He did not want to talk to anybody, at least a stranger. He did not want to talk to anybody, but here he was speaking to the man about things he had no clue about. The conversation went something like this. See, what happened is Rudra suddenly starts giving solutions to the person's problem who is sitting opposite to him. Don't worry, all will go well. They will accept your proposal. They will try to bring down your profit margin, but don't give in. What you have asked for is right. Even the bank will pass the loan after you get the approval. Just remember not to make the same mistakes and stay away from the stock market. If you don't, you will be on the street and you will make your family miserable. Don't worry about your daughter. She will leave that office soon, and once she leaves it, the affair with that man will automatically end. Get her married once she completes her 26th birthday, and yes, once your deal comes through and you are settled, keep 5% of your profit for charity. Remember that every time you make 100 rupees, keep aside 5 rupees for the poor. If you make $5 million, then keep 5% of that for the poor. So suddenly he himself doesn't know what is happening to Rudra suddenly bursts out, and he is giving solutions to those the person who is sitting next to. He is a businessman, so he says, you know now don't you have been investing in stock market, now stop investing there. Now whatever profit margin you have asked for, it will come through, and your loan will be approved. Also he mentions one more problem, a solution to the problem, that is, uh, the he says your daughter, no, she will get out of that affair, and then you can get her married when once she completes 26th year. So all this he's telling. So for a few seconds, both the men are stunned. Rudra certainly more shocked than the businessman because he doesn't talk only. But this today, that too he has talked about somebody else. Then the questions began. How do you know about all this? How you knowing that I have submitted a proposal? How you know that I have lost all the speculation in the stock market? Who is telling you about my daughter having a relationship with her boss who is 20 years her senior? See, once all these solutions Rudra proposes to the person opposite, he's so bewildered. He's so surprised. That person, he says, "How come you know about my life? You have talked so much about my proposal, and you have told not to invest in stock market. How do you know all this? And you have even talked about my personal thing, that is about my daughter. She is in a relationship. Yes, she's in a relationship with her boss who is 20 years elder to her." So Rudra gulped. He could feel the tremor in his fingers. He could feel his heart thud away like a drum out of control. He could sense his breathing, but surprisingly, that seemed regular and in perfect harmony. Because this has never happened. Today it is happening, and Rudra is trembling because he doesn't know what he spoke. "I don't know. I'm so sorry. I really don't know." "No, no. All that you have telling me is true. Yes, I am waiting for order to be approved from America. If that being passed, I am safe and beginning my life again. If not, if I don't get that contract, I am finished. My family and I will be on street. All this is happening because my madness to invest in stock market. I have lost everything in my greed to earn more and more. If I'm getting this contract, then the banks having assured me they will back me up. I promise that I will keep aside 5% for the poor. See, so beautifully he explains, Rudra, whenever we earn 100, 5% of that 100 should be always kept for charity. Now again, he Rudra comes up with one more, truth about the other person. Your grandmother used to help the blind. Okay, he says, your grandmother, she used to help the blind. Oh my God! The businessman stood up and then sat down slowly. How do you know all this? Yes, my granny used to be, was helping those ladies who were nearly blind, but who could be saved through operations and medications. So she would sponsor the operations and taking care of the cost. Yes, my granny, she used to help, to take care of the operations or medication, whatever in whatever way. She used to help the blind. Yes, I have left all this. Why? Because I was in a quest, mad race to earn more and more. Yes, I will do that. So he recollected and he says, I will do that. I will start a small trust in her name and keeping 5% of what I make. 5% of your profit, net profit. I promise to do that. You do better, or you will not only come on the streets, but blindness will strike someday very close to you. I mean, somebody in your family will be blind if you don't follow all this. So he says, no, no, I will keep my word. And about my daughter, I will make her leave her job, but she is not agreeing. So he says, now again, he suggests something. Send her abroad to handle your work. Tears began to flow down the man's cheeks. Rudra saw a grown up man weep, but they were tears of gratitude. See, that man, he was so confused. When he got all the solutions, there were tears of joy in his eyes. Yes, she has always wanting to be go abroad. She will agree then. Who are you, by the way? He asked. That fellow asked this Rudra. Who are you? How do you know all this? Please tell me. Rudra had already lost his appetite by then. Now Rudra, he had he was so keen to eat, his favorite food, but now he has forgotten. He has lost his appetite, and so he says, he stood up, called the waiter who came with a frown writ large on his small forehead. Cancellation of orders is not permitted. Now he's asking for cancellation. So he says, the waiter who comes, he says, no, we already have ordered and it is ready. We can't cancel. Oh, I know. Pack the stuff. It's already put on the, he's about to complete, you know. He's saying, waiter, it is already on the plate. We will bring it to your table. But Rudra is not interested. He's so, bewildered. He is so surprised and he himself is confused with all this. His behavior, he talking about truth about somebody. So he says he just wants to leave that place now. He is so angry actually. Pack the freaking stuff, man. The waiter recoiled. Rudra had visited the place often. He did not seem like a man with the spark of anger in him. All of a sudden, the waiter realized that there was a volcano brewing within, and he nodded hastily and he left. See, all of them are acquainted because he's been visiting this restaurant often. So everybody knows he has never opened his mouth till now. But today he is bursting in anger. There is a volcano brewing inside. So this is what the observation from waiter is. This fellow now businessman says, my name is Seth. Please tell me where can I contact you, please, and when will the order come? 14 days from today. Where can I meet you, please? A few diners had begun to look at the two men with interest. Obviously, the one with the two phones was visibly excited and in complete awe of the younger man. But the latter, with longer hair and a 4 day stubble, was in a state of shock and bewilderment. Whatever was happening was out of the ordinary. Please understand. I myself don't know what is happening. I don't know why or what I spoke to you. Maybe it was God's way of helping you out. My friend, I was going to borrow money on such a high rate of interest that it would have broken my back. So that fellow is telling, You have helped me, and you have shown me a way out of for my daughter too. Thank you so much. Then the man did something that spooked Rudra. He bent and touched the Rudra's feet. A few people turned. Martin frowned. The waiter froze. Rudra exhaled. The waiter handed Rudra his food, and Rudra walked out of the restaurant in a daze, uh, absolutely unaware of what had transpired, what or how or why it had happened. So he himself is so confused here because that fellow is, you know, senior to Rudra. That fellow falls to the feet of Rudra in gratitude. So that, leaves him speechless, and he just walks out. And now he's seated in the veranda of his house. How could he have known all those things about a stranger? How and what had compelled him to speak out? Whatever had taken place was beyond his control. That is what he comes to the conclusion. Now, this question he has, and he waits for Baba to return. So Baba explains here, when he is come back, he wants to know what has happened. Before that, Baba starts explaining about what happens is, we come to this earth to experience some learnings for ourselves, but we forget we are the pure soul. We come, get, engrossed in the mad rat race here, isn't it? So we forget everything. Once we are doing very well, say suppose I have all the money, I have all my children settled, everything is fine for me. Do I, remember God? Naina. Or sometimes when I'm, thrown too much of challenges at my feet or in my lap, then I feel, why me, why me, why me? So our behavior is very contrast. We forget during good times, and we, try to remember and, accuse God for everything. So here Baba is saying, why we should not forget to pay our gratitude to God. What happens? He's saying, my young boy, who goes about predicting the future to strangers and spooking the pants off them. God never moves away, but the individual does, and shows his or her back to the God. And when you show your back to God, then the darkness engulfs. That is what the good Lord is trying to show us all through the sun and the earth. See here, the comparison of darkness is shown to sun and earth. Earth is us. Okay, here they have compared us to the earth. When sun is up, that is mornings. So we are in gratitude to God. But when we turn our back, it becomes darkness. That is, sun is set. So that is what is Baba is explaining here. Through everything, there is illusion. It is also there for a purpose. When the earth shows its back to the sun, the night falls. In a similar way, darkness, confusion, pain, loneliness enters the individual's life. When he or she turns away from God, and not because God has moved away, God is the sun. The individual is planet Earth. If you turn your back to God, then there is darkness in your life, son. So, best is to keep moving towards God. Be in the light forever. Now, come, let's have that ghastly tea and tell me all about how you have become an expert in predicting stuffs for folks you have come to eat. Some badly made food by that military run restaurant. You keep visiting. Ha ha ha. See, even before God, Rudra wants to confess whatever has happened. Baba knows already. So he just says, that fellow, no, indirectly has given the clue. That fellow has, stopped worshiping and stopped practicing whatever his grandma, whatever they used to do. And this is what happened. So we should not turn our back away from God. So he says, give me your tea, and whatever happened there, let's see, and let's see how expert you have become. That is what he says. So he's pleading Baba. Rudra is pleading here. Baba, please tell me what happened at Martin's. He's literally pleading. Baba spent the major part of the he pleads, and Baba says, "Let the time come. Okay, I will let you know everything." And it is night. Rudra sleeps. Now Baba sits and prays all throughout the night. That is what Rudra has observed. So this is what they are, showing. What is the ritual of Baba now? Baba spent the major part of the night in prayer. He would sit in the bedroom in front of many oil lamps and candles and pray. He would lit everywhere. He would lit the candles, sit in between, lit the lamps, and pray. His fingers would keep moving, and sometimes his hands would make gestures. Rudra would sleep on the other side of the room and observe this old man, full of kindness and power, pray and meditate on the holy fire, till sleep engulfed Rudra in her shadowy snare. So often, when Rudra would awaken, he would find Baba seated in the same position, arms moving softly, gazing lovingly into the flames, with light and darkness making different patterns on the white walls. Rudra would often then slowly sit up and wait. After a while, Baba would inevitably turn towards him and smile. Rudra loved that smile. It brought tears to his eyes, seeing the love and tenderness in that smile. Rudra would then gesticulate if Baba would like to drink a cup of tea or chai. So Baba would always love tea. So what he wants to do is he wants to make sure the thermos flask is always filled up with tea for Baba. So they're explaining Baba, whole night he would be sitting and praying or meditating, whatever he is doing. So whenever he wakes up, he is still in that position. He's sitting in the same position. That is what Rudra is saying. So often Baba and Rudra would sit in the cozy room of theirs, sipping tea, observing the flames, throw gentle glimmers through the otherwise dark room. If ever Rudra was close to caressing heaven, these were those moments. Whether they drank tea or not, if Rudra was awake, for a while he would make Baba lie down, and then Rudra would press Baba's feet and legs. Baba experienced severe pain in the feet and calves. Sometimes the nerves were stretched and rigid. Often, when Baba would come from his spiritual excursions, Rudra would realize his nerves were in the worst possible shape. Baba slept for very few hours in the night. In fact, Rudra had never seen Baba really sleep. The old sage lay with his eyes shut, but he never really slept. So often, with eyes shut, Baba would answer a query that Rudra had only thought about, leave aside, spoken aloud. See, Baba, he would visit all, they say, even our Guruji, my own Guruji would say, he would always say, whenever you want to pray to a Guru, just, whenever you want to do seva, you have to just press the legs of the gurus because they travel all over around the world, you know, during night. Wherever help is needed, I think they astral travel, what we say, maybe that kind of thing is happening. So Baba used to be so tired after his spiritual excursions. That is what Buddha is saying. So he would try to press his legs. And here I want to give my experience. We had installed Baba statue because Baba had he had come in somebody's dream. A couple was there who would visit the temple. He had come in their dream and he had told where he wanted to be installed. He had said. So that statue of Baba, it was very, it was not that big. It was about 3 feet. Okay. And when to they donated the money, and they came to our Guruji and they confessed that this had happened. So they said they had never ever seen this Panduranga temple, where but they had never even visited. but still they had got the perfect dream of that temple where it has to be installed. So he had said, it seems, Baba, they were worshippers of sun. Baba had said, this is where I want to be now. So they came, they confessed about this to Guruji, and Guruji said, okay, how much ever you can give, within that, we will, buy the statue of Baba. So when we visited, I think we took 1 month to, find that perfect statue. That statue was like, most of the people who came after it was installed. This is the experience of other people. They would always say, this Baba is kind of little naughty, you know. He's very naughty, and it was seen in that statue's eyes. It was always smiley, and so our Guruji, he used to say, he's my son, usko nazar nahi lagna chahiye karke. He would put a black bindi here every day. Guruji, after doing Abhishek, that is, we used to. I'm so fortunate when it was installed. 48 days we do this one. The process is done. That is, the Mandala Puja is done. The Mandala Puja is done to install the life in the statue. Whether whatever it is, whenever a statue is being installed anywhere in the temples, they do this ritual. So I was very fortunate enough. We would wake up at 3:30, and we would go to the temple, me and my friend, jhadu, pocha, sab karke, everything we used to get ready for puja. And Guruji used to come by 4:30, and he used to do everything. Prana pratisthana, yes, Jagratinath. So prana pratisthana, this is a process. So 48 days continuously they do this. So during those days, we were very, 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 very fortunate to have that closeness to this Baba. And our Guruji used to take care of, after giving bath every day, we would boil the water and keep, and we would make it warm while giving bath to Baba. He was being treated like a small kid. Guruji used to take, after giving bath, 3 towels, very soft ones, cotton ones should be there. And he would, wipe even the, ऐसे fingers के बीच में, ये सब areas, because not even one droplet of water should be left. And he should not feel cold, because that was during, cold season, he was installed. So watching him do it, and many a times, it used to so happen ki headgear, he used to give so much of trouble to wear a headgear. If he didn't like, that was our feeling, okay, I'm talking. If he didn't like, or it would never sit properly, then Guruji would ask for another one. Then once that was okay, we have experienced such exclusive, feeling. I never knew all this happens. And Guruji would always say, he would tell, the other person who was my friend was Veena. He used to treat us like sisters. He would say, Naina and Veena, if you want anything, just sit at his feet. If you want to experience Jannat, you can say, you should just, sit and do the seva. Nothing he wants. He doesn't want money. He doesn't want anything, he doesn't want anything. He wants pure soul of yours. So you can just press his legs. So I made from then a habit till I was there in Bangalore. Every day, not even a single day, leaving a single day, I would visit. I would, before going to my school, I would sit. I would go touch his feet, left feet, press his legs, calf muscles, everything. And I have really experienced, I'm not lying, during Guru Purnima, the statue would have enormous power, I felt. So much of flowers would be offered to him, and I felt there would be at least 10,000 people who would take darshan that day. After that, when at night we were, we take out everything, all alankara is taken out, all the flowers are taken out. I feel Bangalore is a place where they do so, so beautiful pujas and all, archanas, everything. So after, when the night comes, he should sleep, calmly and without any load on himself. We would take out all Rudraksh mala or all he had got so many ornaments, Baba. I don't know, so many people would donate so many things. So everything would be taken off and only one white color, this one we would put on him, and one robe over that white color inside, very soft cotton, not to prick the other robe that we use for alankara should not prick him because it is all decorated. So that was the reason, and I have felt enormous peace. Really, this was my routine. Every day, I would go. During in the morning, I would go, and night at 9 o'clock they would close the temple. Before that, I would go. I would just press his legs, and I have seen this during those days. Especially Guru Purnima. I felt the glow of the face would change. You know, so that is my experience. I have been very, very, very fortunate. And today I convey my gratitude to my Guruji because, as nobody is allowed to touch the statues. Yes, of course, we were not allowed to go into the Garbhagudi. What is there? There were other, like it was basically a Panduranga temple. We never went near. There was Ishwar, Panduranga, Rukmabai. So, but we were never allowed to get in those areas. But here, wherever Baba was installed, we had that fortunate opportunity. I feel very blessed to have, been for those all 48 days and experience that intimacy with him. That was when I became more closer to Baba. So that was my routine. And I feel I have to pay my gratitude to my Guruji because he allowed us. We were ladies. We were ladies. Nobody allows. But we were the ones who would take care of, him. After 48 days, he assigned it to me and Veena. And we would go give him bath, you know, like that. And if at all somebody wanted to do it themselves, a lady or somebody, if they had their, this one, we would allow them. That was how it was. We were allowed to touch him, feel him. So I feel very blessed today. Thank you, masters. That was my experience. So Baba says, so this is about how Baba would feel pain in his legs and all. So Rudra would press. The tea today is excellent. How come? Very funny, Baba. Tell me, please, what happened today? So he wants to know what has happened to him, why he spoke all those, whatever he has spoken. So now Baba, chillam is that they take smoke. So that was favorite of Baba, and he's using his chillam. It was a slow process. They have explained about this was we feel how Baba is a guru and how he smokes, but here it is explained. It was a slow process, and sometimes Rudra felt it was more of a spiritual process, as though Baba was preparing himself, filling himself up with some strange spiritual energy before answering Rudra's never ending queries. So Rudra sat and watched the sea. The beams of moon fell on the darkish silvery water, and the sound of the waves was soothing. Rudra would be heartbroken to leave this place. The money would last them a few more months. At least monsoon would be spent in the safe heaven. See, they have explained whenever Baba, smoked this chillam, he would feel powered, empowered again. His strength would come back. So it was a kind of spiritual process and not to take otherwise. Okay, the cottage was named Dwarka. Now they're explaining about Sai's Dwarka Mai. Most of you must, visited. Baba used to spend. Dwarka Mai means open door. So that is the meaning of Dwarka Mai. Everyone is, open there, is allowed to come to me. That is the symbol. Dwarka Mai means. like it is a mother. Okay. The cottage was named Dwarka. Rudra's guru, Sai Baba of Shirdi, had spent his life in a dilapidated masjid, a place of worship for Muslims, and named the masjid Dwarka Mai. Let me ask you a few questions and then I will answer yours, Baba told Rudra. Rudra nodded in affirmation. Have you been doing all that I have been telling you to do? So Baba is asking today. He is taking his test, Rudra's test. Yes, everything. Rudra, it began raining, so he got up, he brought a shawl, and he draped it around Baba, thinking that he may feel cold. What have you been doing? First of all, the mind is either engrossed in the moment or I chant a prayer. So Rudra is saying, my mind now these days is in the moment, or if it is not in the moment, I will start off with some prayers or chant a prayer. What do you exactly? What you have taught me, Baba? If I am eating food, I enjoy the whole process of eating. My entire attention and also my entire gratitude is merged with the process of eating. I'm not doing it mechanically or grudgingly. I also invite God to share the meal and the experience and virtually with every morsel. I thank Him for the food. Through the process, my thoughts also have gone to those who are starving, and automatically a short prayer goes out into the universe for all those hungry and dying of hunger, with the belief that the energy and conviction with which I have prayed for them will make a positive difference to their lives, or at least to a few lives. How? See what Rudra is saying. I also pray for myself, or I send gratitude to my food. Also, when I'm doing that, I pray for others who are suffering, like they don't have food to eat, they're very hungry. So he says, I will send my prayers to those people. Then Baba is asking, how will that help? The prayer will create an energy that will influence a few people to share their food with the poor. For instance, the prayers will influence some kind of soul to stop the car and hand a packet of biscuits or fruits or something to eat to the beggar standing on the signal. Or the prayer might influence a kind soul to donate money or bags of grain to a charity that takes care of those in need of food and sustenance. Or my short prayer might give some poor person strength to go through the difficult period of hunger. In the sense, the vibrations created by the prayer might give a poor person the calmness to accept his or her lot with grace and positive surrender. Whatever that person is going through, they will, get that strength, he is saying. All these things are hoped for before I eat food. Very often, with every morsel I eat, I know how blessed I am not to feel the pangs of hunger and not to worry where my next morsel comes from. I know that, Baba. You know, I have gone through hunger. You know, I have searched my house for few coins to feed my kids and family. I have seen those days, Baba, and I know you are aware of it all. Though, thus, I know what it is not to have food and see your children and loved ones go hungry. I know, and thus I feel, maybe to feel I had to know and go through the experience and thus become a channel for prayers and vibrations. Whatever the case may be, I know what is it to be ravaged by hunger. I never forget. I also never forget how Sai Baba of Shirdi always maintains maintains that all those who take the name of God and Master never starve. They need never worry. They need not never worry about food and clothes. Never. I believe this. Whatever my situation was, food would arrive at the last moment from some place, and somewhere money to buy food would arrive. So beautifully it is told, masters. So you may be having questions about your prayers. What would happen to prayers? So they have mentioned here the vibrations of those prayers will intimate or instigate somebody. If we are not able to do it, somebody else will do that for the others. So should we go into meditation, or anyone wants to? share your experience, any kind of experience, with your guru, whatever it is. Yes, masters. Anybody? Anybody? You must have read Sai Sacharita, or you must have visited Shirdi. Okay. If you not, I will tell my experience. For me, Shirdi, I don't, I don't expect to go anywhere.
Naina ma'am.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Jagruti ma'am.
Okay, Jagruti ma'am, you can tell me. Yes.
Yeah. Divine morning to all the masters.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I stay in Maharashtra, and as you had mentioned a number of gurus and their ashrams and temples in Maharashtra, like Swami Samartha, Gajanan Maharaj, Shirdi, and all.
Yeah.
All these temples and ashrams are very near from my city. And I would like to share my experience, not one, but more than many times.
Yeah.
Whenever we are in a critical situation, like in a tight corner, our spirit guides, who are in the form of our gurus, angels, and all, we just have to bow down at them, close our eyes, and pray silently from our heart, and we are helped immediately. And I'm a very great means I'm believing in Shirdi's Sai Baba and all these gurus since
Yes.
my childhood, and every time I am helped by these masters, these gurus. So within seconds, like I would like to say, within 15 seconds, we are helped out of the critical situation. It can be anything. Like if I'm waiting on the corner of the road, and I'm waiting for a bus or a rickshaw since long, and if I pray from my heart for a auto or a cab or anything, I'm helped within 15 seconds. So provided the condition is that we should have full trust on our spirit guides.
Yes.
So always trust them, believe them. They are always around us, besides us. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Jagruti ma'am. You don't know how blessed you are to be on that soil. Each and every guru has walked that soil that you're living in. I feel those who are living in Maharashtra, especially, they're so blessed. Because I visited most of the ashrams, Swami Samartha ashram, Gajanan Maharaj ashram. Unknowingly, even before coming into spirit, I have meditated, I have had that enormous experience of those, those people, felt those powers. And Shirdi to mera maika hai. I always say to my husband, I don't want to go anywhere else except Shirdi. And that was the reason for me to move to a nearer place, which would reduce, some kilometers for me, because I was, it was a big issue for me to travel long distances. So 16 hours it would be from Bangalore for me. So now it is one day travel for me. I can even go all alone to Shirdi. So that is the reason I moved here. For me, when I go there, I experience enormous strength. I lose myself, you can say. 2 days I stay there, and my husband never interrupts. We book some room which is very nearby, and I never wear slippers. I just experience everything that is there. And once it so happened, me and my sister, we had gone to Shirdi. It was she who told me that we can do seva during night, because by 11 o'clock, the temple is closed, and Dwarka Mai, they allow us to clean the sweep and mop. Okay. So she had told me, she is more closer, right? I know, I feel always. She has even had the experience of, touching the statue of Baba at Shirdi, doing the Abhishek. She has been very fortunate, I feel. and she trusts him. Her faith in Sai is enormous. I think that's why after 18 years of her marriage, she went through 2 cycles of IVF, so many cycles of IUI. She didn't have kids. First thing, when she went, when she was going through all this, and she knew she wouldn't have children, that time she went to pray there. She felt, now somehow I want my child. I want child. So there came a proposal for adoption among her relatives. She adopted her, and we named her Sai Parinita. So once she came into our lives, even though I too don't have children, once Sai Parinita, came into our lives, everything changed. Because of her, I feel the way my sister took care of Sai Pari, maybe Baba was impressed. And I always feel a piece of him resides in now the current, child. My sister, after 18 years, she conceived. Naturally, can you imagine? She had gone to Pune to the best doctor, and she had tried everywhere. I must thank Lakshmi Lakhade and my cousin sister Lakshmi Lakhade, and our Jiju Sachin Lakhade. Immense gratitude to them on this platform because they supported her. That madam was best, and actually I think till few months it was okay, and later her it was it couldn't happen. The whatever insemination happens, it got lost. So I feel after 18 years she got conceived, and she didn't know because she had already forgotten, and all her life was around Sai Parinita. She thought it was, she was getting those vomiting sensations, or kya bolte hain, sickness, morning sicknesses, everything. She thought it was acidity, and she went to check and get it checked with the doctor. Later, that I should pay my gratitude to that fellow also, because he was a radiologist who found it for the first time that she was carrying, and he told, "Madam, you should not climb the steps. Right away, go and take rest and get it checked from the gynecologist," he said. And that was when we got the news that she was really carrying, but we didn't know because they had told her womb would not support the weight of the baby. But masters, if he is willing, all miracles can happen. It was that miraculous event in our lives, and I have seen where at 5 months it was about to drop. I mean, her womb it opened, that I don't know what they say, the baby dropped little down, and in time she went to doctor, and it was stitched back, and she was on bed rest, and she was there in my house, and I have seen how blind faith she has. She would always converse, and she would always tell. We would be afraid of when we saw her, because she had a lot of vomiting, all those things. I think she would vomit like a chota bucket was kept for her. Any smell, anything, she could not tolerate. So I have seen, but she would always say, "No, Baba is there with me. Baba is there with me." I have seen she would meditate till 4 o'clock, and then she would sleep. After that, we would wake up and she would sleep. That was how our routine was, and I've seen it is a miracle. And now we call him Saish. He is 4 years old now, and I'm so blessed to share this experience to all you masters. I'm not, trying to portray Baba is great. I'm just talking about my experiences. Thank you for this beautiful platform, Ashok sir, and Spiritual Tablets. And to all you beautiful masters, no words to express. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Nainaji, for putting together already. So let me just add a few things. In 1984, I actually visited Shirdi the first time when I just completed my intermediate and then joining engineering in one of the nearby places, and I happened to go to Shirdi, and that is the first time. And after that, I became a Sai devotee, and every Thursday, whenever it is possible, I used to go to. And after I got married, then we used to go no matter what on Thursdays to visit the Sai Baba temple nearby. That is how my journey went through. And after I came into US, and the first, then when I go from US to India, when I land, I go and take my bath, and nothing taken in the breakfast, nothing. Just go in the morning to visit the temple and see the Sai Baba in one of the place where I used to go when I was there in India. So, and then when I am leaving back to in the US, then I used to go that evening, and I used to tell him that take care of yourself, and I'll be back once I am coming back. So that happened multiple times. Then one time when I went from US to India, then I visited him. Then while coming, for some reason, I missed. So I went to the airport, and I was just standing in the queue to go through my check-in, and they told me that your ticket is not confirmed, and you don't have a seat, first of all, and we cannot put you onto the plane. So I said, okay, how come? Because this has been taken long time back, and it is confirmed both sides, and you are saying that your ticket is not confirmed. So I said, okay, maybe this is what happened. Maybe I went back and tomorrow, and they said that, yeah, we can put you in tomorrow's flight. Okay, they put me in tomorrow's flight. So I went back, and I visited temple, and I came back, and that is one of the experience. Okay, that is prior to my spiritual journey and all of that stuff. Then when I came to spirituality, and when I started my journey, because here in Atlanta, we used to go to our temple more often on every Thursdays, and on some auspicious days and all of that stuff. Then when I started my journey, and then I have taken myself that, so I understood when I am going to the temple that I am not going with a pure mind. I am going there doing a lot of things in my mind, as soon as I step into that temple, looking around and seeing people, and then also thinking about whether I'm going to miss my food, ups and downstairs if I go late and all this stuff. Then I thought that is not a good idea, because if you're going there with you need to pray, put full attention on yourself, and then pray to the God, whoever, that guru or whatever it is. Then I decided that I don't want to go. So I stopped going. So almost from last 1.5 years, I never visited even once or twice. So then on one day, actually my wife told me that, yeah, we are going today. I said, for some reason, I said, yeah, let me try. Literally, I went there on that day. So I stepped in, and until I stepped out, nothing is in my head, just only Baba and me, and I'm just talking to him, and I just spent some good time with him, and then I came back immediately. As soon as I saw the darshan, then I came back, and nothing in my mind, whether I need to eat my food or not, nothing. And then the other time, then I went second time, and exactly that is what happened. And I sat and I did my meditation there, and that was so nice. And as soon as they want everyone to go and be in a line, and you can touch. That is the Sai Baba's day that they will allow us to touch. I said, I'm not touching. So Baba, I'm leaving. I'm very happy that I saw you after meditation, and everything has been so good. I'm leaving. So I said, and I came back, and I felt so happy by doing that. But why I'm saying this one is, when Naina Madam said about her sister and this is a belief system that we have developed in ourselves, and the way that we develop on our gurus. Okay, so I treat myself, even till today, my divine guru is Sai Baba. So he's my brother, and he's my everything, whatnot. Even today morning when I said to someone, they said everything. It's not just brother or friend or guru or mentor, nothing. He is everything. Yeah, that's what I said too. So, but I'm came out of this belief system, and which has given me immense joy. More than that, how I am from the last maybe 27 years or 30 years of my journey with the Sai Baba. But that is more than what I am getting right now. That happiness and all of that stuff, because there is no attachments and there is no expectations and nothing. I'm just going with my blank mind, and I'm just praying myself and what has been required and coming back. So that is the experience that I'm going through. But I had so many experiences with the Shirdi temple too, but I will explain that some other time. So beautiful experiences that I went, because in my life I have seen from last many years, everything happens on Thursdays. But whether it is a coincidence or doesn't matter, but it happens on Thursdays. And if I wanted to do something, then I'll think that, I'll wait and see whether this is going to happen on Thursdays or this is going to, because even for my new job, when I switched my job, then Thursday is the day that they have confirmed that you got the job. There are so many coincidences on Thursdays, but whether it is a belief system or whether you believe in the Guru and whatever has been happening. So once you come out of it, but you still enjoy more. That's what I mean to tell you guys, because that guru is going to be with you all the time, because you yourself is a guru, and you are going to believe that guru is within you, and when you are actually seeing him, you are seeing yourself in them, whether you touch or whether you pray and all that stuff. So this is just my small experience that I wanted to share. Thank you.
Definitely, sir. I agree with you. Everything for me happens on Thursday. So I always wait, let the Thursday, somebody was supposed to give me a puppy, my student. I told I will accept it on Thursday. Yesterday night they remembered, they called me. Then I said, I have put a chit to Baba now. It may be madness. Okay. So I said, I will wait. It's okay. We will, will next Thursday also is there. So we will take it.
Thank you. Vindhya ma'am.
Thank you, Naina ma'am. Actually, I don't know if we have time. I can stop if we don't have time, but just wanted to say sincere thank you to you. So beautifully, first of all, you read the story. You take your time and relax. It is like meditation for us, your story itself, listening. And we were in the story. We could feel, Baba and Rudra and that other person talking. And you make it like, not suspense, but very thin. So I loved it. And I had my own experience so beautifully about the temple Pratisthana. And then afterwards, when you shared about your sister, it's touching the heart. And who doesn't know about Baba's Leelas, right? Whoever has prayed to Baba, everyone, Ashok sir beautifully shared too. But somehow I didn't grow up praying to Baba when I was small. Somehow my dad always did Ram Navami, big puja, and Ganesh Chaturthi. So gods for me were like, Rama and Ganesha. My mom used to pray to Sai Baba. So the first guru when I thought of was Baba, like when I grew up and I understood who a guru was. And I saw my mother-in-law also pray to Baba. One incident, since you're talking about Baba, so till then, I used to go in India, somehow temples. I grew up in Goa, so there were not that many Baba temples there. In Hyderabad, when I was there, I did visit once, but I was not completely into. But my mother-in-law, it's been almost 15 years or so. She passed away, but she had cancer. And I had gone, I was there right next to her the day she left the body. And that day, she has this we say like the frame, right, of Baba, like a photo. It was right next to the bed, and as she was saying some weird things, and we could see that she was near the end. We got her some tulsi water, and others were all talking, but I was watching, and she looked at Baba's picture, and I could see her eyes, and suddenly I saw some spark go to Baba's picture. And I had never experienced anything like that. I saw that spot. And afterwards, all that sadness happened, finished. And later on, when I was coming back, I asked my father-in-law, can I take that picture? And he said, yes. And that picture is with me in my altar. And every day I look at it, I feel from then on it's connected to me. And after coming to US, we have multiple temples here. I don't know how it happens, but they put all gods in one temple. Or I used to get confused which temple to go, where to pray, because it was confusing. And then Ganesha temple, I thought I would go, but they were all politics. Everything, believe me, I didn't want it, but whoever builds the temple, those people are their friends go, and there's all kind of politics. So I was not feeling comfortable. And then there was Bhabha Temple, and it was not even real temple like that. It was just a room. And the different thing that I saw there's no pujari, nobody. Everyone comes as a volunteer. They cook whatever they bring this, and everything is so delicious. They all make it so with love, and everything they bring, they give us prasad, and then everyone serves. Someone cleans, like you said, right? Someone cleans up, they bring beautiful garlands of flowers for Babas, and they press Baba's feet and everything. So I saw I go there, maybe not for Baba, but to look at people and their devotion. When I watch them, I feel like really, I just keep sitting there and watching. Everybody's reading the book, and I'm like listening, but I watch people. That's how when I changed my job to teaching, it was not easy for me to get, because I had no background of teaching. I did some alternate certification, but I didn't. And then it was special education, and I was not at all experienced. But I wanted it so badly. So I sat in front of Baba. That's the first time I just sat and I prayed, and I said, I really want this job. And I got it. And I feel if you really ask with true heart, you'll get it. It's hard to know what to ask, but when you know what to ask, you get it. So these are a few things that I felt. So thank you for connecting us with Baba. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So gratitude to you also, ma'am. You will not believe, my whole house has Baba's pictures, None of them I have bought, except one.
I know.
Except one. None of them were bought. Every frame I have got in, and everything is different. One is different, from the other. All four corners, every room, everywhere Baba is there. My students keep asking, they ask, Baba is same, no ma'am. Why do you have so many? So I tell, Baba is same, but he's in different forms for me. Somewhere he connects me to as a father, somewhere as my child, somewhere as my whatever it is, mother. So I keep telling them that, because I have to give them some answer. Why I have so many? I don't know. Thank you so much.
My parents actually get angry when I call them anytime in the morning, your evening time, at 6:30 to 7. And my dad used to never watch, but nowadays he doesn't speak properly. And I'm like, why are you not talking? And then later on, I came to know they're watching that show and they don't want to be disturbed at times. Thank you.
Thank you. My mother has started reading Satcharita without me insisting. That is the biggest change in my house. Thank you, ma'am. Sir, should we go for a meditation, or is it enough for today?
Yeah. For today, it's okay, because there are only very few people left, and if we can do a quick, at least 10 minutes.
Okay.
Energy.
Yes.
Yeah. Just a quick 10 minutes.
Yeah. Masters, close your eyes. Fingers into fingers. Cross your legs. Take a deep breath. And as you exhale everything from your stomach, whatever is not necessary. Kindly discard it. As I read the chapters of Satcharita yesterday, the messages in that way. Whenever we come onto this earth plane, we come as a pure soul. That is when we are babies. We are at, we are purest. But we forget as we grow up. that we are the pure soul. We get caught up in desires, worldly desires. Yes, it is necessary, but Baba says here, everything is necessary in the world to live, but just samarpan karo, surrender karo, all these things. He says, whether it is food, whatever it is, put it to the feet of the God. Then it will help you to get detached. It will not allow you to attach yourself to all this, whether it is jealousy, krodha, that is anger, all these qualities of human beings, desires, everything. He says, whenever you get any of these, mere charno mein samarpan karo, or at the feet of the God that you believe in. Just surrender, which will help you to get detached. This is the first message I read. I read 23rd and 24th chapters yesterday, Mahaparayana group. This was what the first message I got. The second is, we are categorized into Uttama, Madhyama, and Sadharana. These are the categorized as people. Who is Uttama? The one who just accepts anything in his life as the wish of the Lord and carries out everything with the detachment, thinking it is, he always says, blessing in everything. God's blessing in everything that is happening around his life. That one is Uttama. Madhyama is one who does everything with that faith. Yes, it's going to be okay. Third one is the category who believes he himself is responsible for everything. So these are the three kinds of people he says. In the 24th chapter, Baba says, there is no other goodness other than surrender. Always be grateful and surrender everything, whatever you rejoice as the blessing of God. Then everything becomes easy for you to move on in your life. And he says, God doesn't want your money, your gold. He doesn't, ask for all that. All he asks is a surrendered soul. The purest form of love, where you don't doubt. All he seeks is just love. Not in him, but in others around him. Sabhi creatures, all the creatures. सब जीव जंतु में मुझे ही तुम पाओ, तुम मुझे ही उनमें देखो, तो मैं प्रसन्न हूँ. This is what Baba says. These are the messages I thought I should convey to you guys. It is so important, as we learned today in the lesson, only not to listen, but to implement. The power of prayers, the vibration of the prayers, how they reach the people, and why one must pray and one must not turn their back to God. We must remember we are humans. It is He who created us. So in God, that is according to me, G-O-D, G stands for generator, O stands for operator, D stands for destroyer. Everything is the culmination in God. So just surrender, even if you don't believe. At least believe in operator, generator, and destroyer. Whenever you need help, kindly ask for help, masters. Whoever is here, feel you're connected to each other. We can always, wherever we are sitting, make the circle, hold your hands. Then let the vibrations multiply. So always feel connected to each other as you come on such platforms of spiritualism. Close your eyes for 2 seconds and let the energies of you all gel well, get together. Then start off. I, on behalf of spiritual tablets, thank all you beautiful souls here from the bottom of my heart. Also, recently I learned why we must address each and everyone as master, according to Patriji. No one is ever inferior to you. He would always address everyone as master. That importance I learned. The weightage of that word master. He meant to say, I see in you myself. That is the God. So he would address, he would never allow anyone to touch his feet. That is what I have heard. So that is the way he would treat everyone equally like him. So let's respect each other. Let's not judge anyone. Let's practice these lessons, implement these so that our journey becomes little smoother. Thank you, masters. Slowly come back to your physicality. Rub your palm. Keep on your eyes. Slowly open your eyes. 3, 2, 1. On the beautiful occasion of Varamahalakshmi, let Lakshmi, Goddess Lakshmi, bless all you beautiful souls along with Lakshmi. Let Saraswati be a friend of you. Also, the blessings of your Guru be bestowed upon all of you. Thanking all of you once again. If there are any faults, any mistakes, please remember, I'm just a learner here. Please forgive me. It's only my experiences and my point of view. Thanking all of you once again and wishing on this beautiful occasion. Sukh, Samruddhi, सब कुछ आपके हो, यही मेरी कामना है. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Naina ma'am.
Thank you, sir.